Hello, I hope you've been having an amazing day. Now, this is Tim. I'm here with you on the buzz every day on Relax Radio. And I've been talking to you about business, tech, entrepreneurship, all everything around these topics, right? Anything you need to keep yourself updated around. Now, I've got a cool story around TikTok. This is a very new app. I mean, within the last 2 years, these guys have been basically been valuated over $100 billion, right? And this is just within 2 years. And it's if you I mean, you've definitely heard of Instagram. And talking about Instagram, I'd say it's the next gen of Instagram. Just like we had Facebook a while back, and then it came on to Instagram, and now Instagram is relatively highly trending, right? And then if you have nieces, if you have nephews, if you have children, if you have even, I mean, even your friends could be talking about it, right? Now, this app is basically owned by a company called ByteDance. And we know that during the lockdown last year, America basically had a big issue with granting permission for this company to basically use, I mean, run as an app provider in the States, because of the fact that they were a Chinese company. And now ByteDance is basically also having issues with we know how Facebook has been having a lot of issues with their marketers or with the privacy concerns. They've been having a ton of lawsuits, including Mark Zuckerberg himself, right, in court. And talking about how if it comes to the point where your content or your private your personal content basically could be at a point where if it is sold. Now, we know if you are on an app, if you are on Facebook or Instagram, right, now you could be sharing your name, your birthday, where you live, your preferences in terms of what food you like to eat, where you like to go for food, who your close friends are, and I mean, it can even track things like what you do on a daily basis when you're bored. If you're scrolling on the phone, if it is at home, if it is at work, if it is after, just when you get in bed, even if it is in your washroom, right? Your phone basically, you basically grant permission to these apps. Now don't get me the wrong way, but you basically grant permission to these apps to basically use your camera, your photos, your videos, and your microphone at any given time, right? Now, if you are going, I mean, you might only upload a particular amount of content online, but then if you are talking about how much of content the app actually takes from you, and what the app actually does with it. So I'm going to be talking about how TikTok is basically facing a couple of issues with this. And just like the features of the new iPhone, or even the new Samsungs, or even Huawei, they basically have a ton of content or possibilities in terms of understanding who you are just by looking at your face in a split second, right? So I'm going to be talking more about this topic soon. Just stay tuned right here. I'm going to show you a little quick video on what Relax Radio does around the world. That is right. We are basically Relax Radio. We are multilingual. We are on different channels. Multiple countries, basically different streams of media. If you are on YouTube more, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we are on these platforms, and it's just a matter of DMing. We are open to your DMs. We are open to your comments, your shares. We really appreciate your shares or your subscribes. And talking further about this, now I've been talking about how TikTok basically has been facing a lawsuit of over billions of pounds, right? Because of London child privacy issues. Now, we know during the lockdown last year, TikTok basically came to a point where they were facing massive growth with regard to how many people were using the app, how many people were posting content online, and what type of retention in terms of how many hours, or uh, I mean, I would say minutes or hours, but then how long you spend on the app. Because it is pretty catchy. Like I said, it is the next gen of Instagram, and it's come to a point where I'd say a lot of people that study apps would say that it's a mixture of Tinder and Instagram. You've definitely heard about these two apps, and how it is mixed up is in sense where people basically, I mean, you have this thing called the feed, right? You know what the news feed is if you're on Instagram or Facebook. So you keep scrolling on this, or even Twitter, YouTube, right? And if you find some content that you find interesting, it's just a matter of swiping right, and then you get to that person's profile. And when you get to that person's profile, you can see, I mean, given that they're on public, you can see everything that they've posted. Now, people know the value of clout these days, or the value of having having an audience to yourself. So people actually push for a ton of effort when it comes to creating your own audience. So it may be around different topics. People, majority, maybe dancing. That you get content around people. Whichever industry they are in, actually, if it was Elon Musk, he would basically be posting around SpaceX, or progress with designing electric cars, engineering, and even Neuralink. So even if it is someone to do like Bill Gates, he would be posting on something to do with how what he learns on a daily basis. And then you get people, if it's a dentist, you get dentist content. If it's a chiropractor, you get content around how they solve their problems with their clients. I mean, there's no limit to what industry you can create content around today, and people are trying to create their own audience around this, because I'd say it's becoming very decentralized today, and the structure of creating your content is really changing very fast. So talking about how much of actual content TikTok is actually being sued for is now a matter of millions of dollars, right? This is over, I'd say, millions of European children. So now, Anne Longfield, she is basically the former children's commissioner for England, and she talks about how she is, the litigation friend, or the public face, or of an anonymous 12-year-old child, and she is basically leading the class action and talking about how on Wednesday this affected this act basically by TikTok could have affected 1,000 or more, multiple thousands of people in the UK alone, and these are children, right? So she and has basically gone on to talk about how TikTok in May 2018, that is when people have started posting their content online, and parents and children have basically known to push their private information, including phone numbers, physical location, like I said, the and even videos of these children that are illegally collected. So now these are all issues that I think if you are actually going to read through your terms and conditions, you should be aware of, right? So now they talk about how now TikTok basically has countered this by saying that the users' concerns or users' privacy is their top priority, and they have the robust policies, processes, and technologies. And they, especially when it comes to teenage users, they have all these processes that are basically following this content, now this procedure. And they talk about how they believe in the claims and the lack of merit, and they intend to vigorously defend the action of what Anne Longfield has said. So now talking about how TikTok has basically cleared up, or built so much of clout, or influence in the platform space, that is to create a lot of attention. If you are competing with Facebook, if you are competing with Instagram, even if it's things like WhatsApp and YouTube, right? So people, the attention span is really low these days with people in majority. So the way that this app basically keeps your attention is by giving you a quick dopamine rush with every post or every video you see. I mean, I have a lot of respect for the back-end developers, the front-end developers. The app is basically designed very intelligently, and for them to come to this point, I'd say I'm not surprised, right? With the 200 billion actually is worth, this company is actually worth as much now. So talking about how with their lawsuits or the claims, TikTok has violated European and UK union data protection laws. I mean, I'm super grateful we have these laws here, because there are countries that actually don't have these laws. So if you are, one of the parties that actually are not aware of these, transparency, security measures, the consent of guardians, and legitimate interest, these are, things that a lot of people should be concerned about when it comes to understanding the procedure, or the way that people how much are people actually sharing things online. So talking further, the this damage could actually, cause about billions of pounds worth of, damage to the app provider. And how, since this case has been put on a hold with the UK Supreme Court, the internet giant, basically that's Google, have over allegedly unlawful tracking of iPhone users. Now this is also another, concern about, how since 2012 to 2011, these are basically tracking through third party cookies, right? Now this case should be heard next week as well. So I'm super excited to hear more about this. Now this, I mean, I talk about, everything, apps, business, tech related, entrepreneurship related, any updating you with everything, right? If it goes into blockchain, if it goes into the past, if it goes to new entrepreneurs coming out, women entrepreneurs, there's so many topics around these topics that there's so many, so much of news around these topics that I think I need to share with you on this platform. So I'm glad you are, tuning in. I hope you guys stay tuned for the whole of the day and just listen. I'd appreciate if you comment your thoughts. Let us know what you want to hear about. And anything in UK, even if it's the EU, anything around the world as well, I'm completely open to talking about these topics with you. I need a conversation to go on here because you are as important. Now, if you want to call us up, the number is right here. It's 07852 473 473. That's 07852 473 473. Right now, if you are keen on understanding, what topics we go into, if you are keen on, if you have any conversations that you want to, talk with us on, just feel free to DM us or message us. We are always here 24/7. Just a matter of getting in touch. This is Relaks Radio. I'm Tim, your host, and I'll be